Welcome to the round number 6 recap of Canadian Chess Championship 2025. It's been a rough tournament for me. I can't win the games, I can't calculate, I'm not doing well. And in round number 6, once again, I'm playing 1960 opponents with black pieces. And yes, I have 4 draws in first 5 games. I lost one of my games yesterday when I was playing 2 games a day. I lost one of them with black pieces. And this time, once again, Sicilian defense on the board. So I saw that he plays setups with c3, so of course I prepared some stuff. Generally, the positions are very equal, but black might get an advantage early on just because they will control the center, or you can just get very pleasant position. So what we see is knight f6, I attack the pawn on e4, and now bishop e2. So you might wonder why not knight e4, queen a4 wins a piece. That's a very common trap. I go g6, castle, bishop g7, rook e1, castle. Now this pawn is indeed under attack. So bishop goes to f1, all book moves, and now I go knight c6. So here white can go d4 immediately, try to take advantage of center, c takes d4, c takes d4, and after bishop g4, d5, knight e5, knight bd2, the position is around equal. Like I can take and go something along, maybe even queen a5, or how computer says just takes and take advantage. I would probably play knight d7, try to take advantage of e5 square. This bishop is pointing towards this rook on a1 and this pawn on b2. So yeah, equal position. But h3 is played first to prevent bishop g4 from happening. So I go e5, taking away the opportunity of going d4. d4 is still possible, by the way. C takes d4, takes, knight d4, knight d4, queen d4, and I believe now rook e8. Now knight d4 is being threatened, so with bishop g5, h6, I'm just getting two bishops. There are no problems for black pieces. If white go for queen d3, I believe there is d5, and after e5 there is bishop f5. And in general, there are just a bunch of problems, and this e5 pawn is extremely weak. So this didn't happen in the game, as after e5 he went for knight a3. One of the moves he made before is d3. I plan to go d5 here and just taking advantage of the active center. And generally black are doing fine. They have control over the central squares. There are no problems for black whatsoever. He goes knight f3. His idea is maybe play knight c4, maybe play knight b5 in the future. And one of the ideas is also to go knight c2 and d4. I decided that I'll go d5 immediately because I saw that after d3, d5 is the main move. Now it doesn't change anything because d5 is still possible, and after takes, he goes d3. I'm not sure if he could have done something else, like let's say go b3. It seems extremely passive. If rook e4, there is knight c3 fork, so there is not much that can be done. So d3, h6, knight c4, and attacking the pawn on e5, and I go queen c7 just to protect it. Knight f3, and I spent some time calculating stuff. I go knight f4. So I spent some time calculating this. I planned to go g5 and thought that this position should be fine for myself. What else? So in general, let's say knight c4. I also calculate g5 here, but what I didn't like is takes, and then d4. And I was like takes, and if I go rook d8, there is d5. And if bishop e6, I calculate d6. I also saw this, I'm not sure, rook e6, I'm not sure either. But d6 is something that I didn't really want to play against, but apparently black are doing fine, but I just didn't want to go for this position. So I go knight d5, and after knight d3, I'm like, is it gonna be draw number 5 in the first 6 rounds? I mean, I just want to play for a win, and I mean, I'm probably slightly better than my opponent, but yeah, it's been a rough tournament, so I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I go rook d8. Rook d8 is a logical move. Bishop e6 is kind of logical as well, but rook d8, you know, place the rook on the same file as the queen. knight d5, rook d5, and now bishop e3. So I initially thought maybe I should capture here, but I just thought that why am I better? I mean, queen goes to c1, king h7, and d4 now. And I was like, once he pushes d4, it's probably a draw. And if I allow, I mean, I just make it very easy for him to get an equal position. So takes. So I gotta keep pressure on the board. Here I played b6 to protect the pawn, just to avoid any c4 and then bishop c5 ideas. Now queen c2, and now I go bishop a6. Bishop a6 is not the strongest option. Bishop f5 was the strongest, and I just didn't like g4. I mean, I provoked g4, and this is actually a lot better for black. But the point is, though, that I thought how I'm gonna continue. Yes, obviously I can play rook d8, I can try to put some pressure on d3 pawn, but I just didn't seem to find why this was any better. So after bishop a6, at least I had some plans in mind. So he goes rook e d1, not rook a d1, rook e d1. I was a bit surprised, rook a d8, and now a3. a3, it has a simple idea, he wants to go b4. So I go queen d7, I'm trying to attack the pawn on d3. Actually, you see it, right? Queen d7, computer thinks it's inaccuracy despite it being the best move. Okay, it shows knight e7 was best, but knight e7 is something that I... How? Chess.com! What's happening? What's happening? Queen d7 is best and it's considered inaccuracy. Oh my goodness. Queen a4. So after queen a4, my bishop on a6 is under attack. I can't really take, because after takes, there is queen c6 and I'm losing a piece. So I had to act quick and, you know, very precise. I go knight b8, the best move, protecting this, attacking the queen. And now if takes, this endgame was just a lot better. I can just capture. I was maybe thinking, what if b4? But b4, it seemed like I'm just completely winning. Oh yeah, I calculated t4. Of course, I calculated t4, because now bishop is activated. This bishop is pointing towards e3. The position is, of course, completely lost. Knight d2, I've calculated this. And rook a1, bishop d2, rook d2, bishop d3. And I was like, oh, that's not... Yeah, first take, and then bishop d3. E takes d3 for some reason is better, but bishop d3 is what I calculated. So after knight b8, queen h4 was played, and I go g5. And here I started thinking, what if bishop g5? H takes g5, knight g5, queen f5, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna have control g4, king g6, and I thought maybe bishop g2 is one of the options, but now I have bishop f6, and I'm just going to take the knight. Because I thought if, let's say, I go somewhere back, there is bishop e4, and suddenly there is some counterplay. Apparently, no, I don't have it. Do I have this? I don't have it either. I thought maybe I might have some sacrifices, but yeah, queen h6 just solves all my problems. So after g5, queen g3, I go f5, and now I'm threatening f4. If knight g5 here, f4 is winning, so he has to play bishop g5. Because look, if I, let's say, queen h2, I go f4, bishop d2, I mean, technically you can resign right here, because there are no moves at all. So takes, knight g5, rook d6, c4, bishop b7, rook d1, f4, queen h2, knight c6, and I'm just crushing from now on. So bishop b7, rook e1, f4, queen h2, knight c6. I think someone is calling me regarding my credit card, but I don't care. Look, whatever happens, king h1, knight d4, and I'm just crushing. Rook d1, f3, just trying to take, and after g3, not g3, but knight c2, I'm threatening rook, and if rook takes, bishop e4, I'm completely winning. So g takes f3, knight f3 takes, queen f5, attacking pawn on f3, bishop g2 takes, queen f2, d4. His last chance was to try maybe something like, let's say, d3, bishop d5 to win a queen. But of course, I'm not blundering that, and I'm just taking c takes d4, e takes d4, rook d4, and after rook f1, queen g3. He resigned, and it's the first win of Canadian Chess Championship. I'm 3 out of 6. Still think it's terrible, but looking at how others are doing, like, as I said, it just a lot of people are playing really well, and yeah, just a very hard event so far. Everyone is playing great. Accuracy 95.6 for myself and 89.1 for Adam. Yeah, I mean, great game by me. Finally a win. You know, I waited for it. I tried my best to win in the previous rounds, but you know, it never. Like, I was very close in the last round. I got a huge advantage, but then couldn't find the good moves. And in this game, it just went pretty smoothly, as you might see by looking at the chart. I can't say he did like a lot of mistakes. It just, yeah, managed to outplay with block pieces, but definitely once again a tough game. 3 out of 6. Let's see who I get in the next round. You'll see in the recap tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, any feedback, comments, appreciate it. See you soon. Bye bye.